What's going on, everybody? It's the Creative Fro, checking back in with another video, vlog / tutorial type of feel. Today, I'm going to be showing you how I use my gimbal, and I'm going to be taking you through my steps of how I practice at using my gimbal. I'm not claiming to be an expert with this. I'm still trying to get better myself, so I thought it would be a good idea to show you my process, and hopefully this can help you out there if you have a gimbal or you're thinking about getting one. These are some steps you can take with the gimbal. The first thing you're going to want to make sure is that your gimbal is fully charged up. When you have your gimbal fully charged up, it's going to be able to balance a lot longer because you have the full battery power. And I have the Evo Rage Gimbal 3, so when I have it fully charged, it runs up to 12 hours. So I can last a whole day of shooting for myself. You're going to want to use a wider lens. I'm using my 10 to 20 millimeter today. You don't have to use a wider lens, but I find you get more flexibility with using it. I've used primes before, but it kind of just gives you that narrow focus. So with the wide lens, I find you get better variety. And before you head out to do your shoot, what you're going to want to do, and you don't have to do this, but I find it helps me a lot, is balance your gimbal before you leave and then pack it up in your car so when you get to location it's ready to go and you don't have to balance it out while you're on your shoot. So if you're on a time shoot, this is going to help you save time because your gimbal's already set to go. You could just pick it up and shoot. And the last thing you're going to want to have in mind is an idea of the video you're trying to create. Start thinking of the shots you want to get, start thinking about how the final edit's going to look, and what I like to do is find the song I'm going to be using in the edit and listen to that while I'm working on the video. So I already have the song I wanted to work with today. I got it from Artlist and then I send it to my phone. So I'm going to be using my headphones while I'm shooting this video. Today I want to work on my framing. I want to be better at my focus and working on my pan downs. I feel like when I pan the camera down or to the left or right, it's almost too quick. So I want to try to smooth that out, see if I can get better at that. One last thing before we head out I forgot to mention is I'm going to be taping everything today in 60 frames per second. I'm using my Canon 5D Mark IV, so the highest frame rate I can get is 60 frames. So I'm going to be using that because when I do these gimbal shots, I want to have the flexibility to be able to slow the footage down or speed it up if needs be. So I'd say it's a good idea to choose a higher frame rate if you're going to use a gimbal because that gives you more flexibility in post-production. So right now I'm getting my gimbal ready to shoot. The first thing you're gonna have to do is balance your gimbal. This can be a little bit finicky sometimes, so if you have any trouble with that, I can make a separate video on how you balance your gimbal properly, but that's all I'm doing right now. Now that I have my gimbal ready to go, it's time to go out and shoot. I am outside with the gimbal and this is the first shot I'm working on. I have the pan down shot that I'm trying to fix up myself. So as you can see, I started at the end and I got Carly to start her walk, and as she was walking I was trying to pan the camera down. I was using the little knob on the gimbal to push down as I was stepping forward, trying to be as smooth as possible so we're reducing any possibility of camera shake. Moving along into her second shot, walking forward, and I'm trying to stay in the middle of her shoulder area there with the gimbal. And if you could notice as I'm walking, my feet are doing a heel to toe smooth motion and I have a slight bend in my knee. So that's supposed to help reduce the shakiness of the footage because you're not taking full up and down steps. So keep in mind when you're doing these shots that you want to keep that footwork. It's called a ninja walk, so slight bend in the knees and a heel to toe formation. So for the next camera move, we're going to have to invert our camera. So that means flip it so it's upside down in pan follow mode. And now when you have that ready, you just want to frame up your subject. I'm trying to frame up Carly's feet right now. And then you just want to try your best to keep the pace that they're keeping. For Carly on this one, she was walking too fast and I noticed I was a little behind. So next time I'll try to keep the pacing better. But this is a great way to get low tracking shots of feet, and the lower you are to the floor makes the shot really come to life. So try to get as low as possible, but be careful of the floor and try to keep your pace at the same time. It can be a little bit tricky to frame this one too because you don't have a screen to look at, but stay as close as you can to the feet. Keep that ninja walk and you should have a great looking shot. For the next shot, I'm inverting the camera again, as you can see here. So just in pan follow and I flipped it over, so now we're upside down and we're getting back to the walking feet shot again. And this is the shot I'm going to use to match from the last foot walking shot. So hopefully this comes together pretty cool, but that was my idea behind this shot here. After walking up the stairs, I wanted to do a half orbit, so as you can see my feet here, I'm just trying to move halfway around Carly's body, and just my idea here was to show the background so you can see the library more and just Carly's head looking up at that. Here was one of my most favorite shots to do in this shoot. Carly just walked right towards me as I walked backwards with that same ninja walk in mind, and I tried to keep up with her pacing. I had her walk a little bit quicker this time, so hopefully that looks more cinematic when we slow that down. But I would just suggest when you're walking backwards like this, be careful, make sure you're not going to bump into anything, because I did bump into the rail once myself. So yeah, just be safe and be careful out there when you're creating. So after the fast walking shot, I wanted to get a shot of Carly walking by the camera, and then I wanted to use this shot to lead into my next shot. And the next shot is me doing the half orbit again, but this time I'm trying to show off the market and how empty it is. Usually in this area is very busy, it was very dead. I just want to give off the illusion of Carly looking at the space where normally lots of people would be. And to end off this edit, I just wanted to get one more close-up of Carly's face looking into the direction of that farmer's market. And to leave you off with today's video, I'm going to leave the whole cinematic sequence together so you can watch it from start to end. Hopefully you enjoy.
Earlier today, Ministers Blair, Hajdu and Garner announced that Canada has advised Canadians to curtail non-essential international travel and that the cruise season is suspended until July.